friends of the press, thank you for being here. We cannot have a press conference without the press. Thank you. But we are here to introduce the people who truly made this thing happen, and actually have been making things happen in Filipino cinema for decades. But specifically here for the, am I hearing an echo? You guys hear an echo a little bit? I apologize. Is it, maybe the mics are on, is that why? Okay, thank you. But we want to introduce our esteemed panel here to kick things off at the press conference. Please welcome the architect, even though he's an attorney and a CPA, but the architect of the most successful Metro Manila Film Fest in history. He is the chairman, Romando Artes.
Good afternoon. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. We are excited to be here in Hollywood. This is the first time that we are bringing all 10 movies of the Metro Manila Film Festival outside of the Philippines. And it will be happening on our 50th year. So we are all excited. We're making history here. And hopefully, this is just the start. And that this festival will open the doors for the Filipino movies to be recognized, and hopefully in the near future we can win an award, Oscars, Golden Globes, or any other award. Yeah. So thank you, and thank you for your support. Thank you.
Of course, no great deeds are ever done, or the duty of one singular person. And to that, here is an example of a great team member. Please welcome the executive director of the most successful Metro Manila Film Fest in history, attorney Rochelle Ona.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Metro Manila Film Festival, it is such an honor. This is just a dream started by the chairman, Don Artes, with some of the friends, to bring the Metro Manila Film Festival abroad and in Hollywood in particular. So seeing you all here, it brings so much joy and pride on the part of the MMFF and the MIFF as well. That's why we would like to thank all the producers who's very cooperative, and all the artists nandito, ang lalaking mga artista, and they're so easy na makausap to go here, to go half the globe, to be in the very first Manila International Film Festival. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, ED Ona. And lastly, but surely not least, we are triply blessed to have 3 executive members of the Film Development Council of the Philippines, led by its chair, Mr. Tirso Cruz III, and also joined by Direct Joey Reyes. Joey, wanted to acknowledge you. And in deference to our shared Cagayan de Oro roots, akong tita, Butsan Sonroa, is here.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank Chairman Artes here of the MMDA for inviting us. I'm here partly as an actor and as the chairman of the Film Development Council of the Philippines. And we're very glad that we've been invited to join this very special and prestigious event, Manila Film Fest, Manila International Film Festival. And we'll be around for the next couple of days, and also nice to see very familiar faces, Ruben, Janet, and the other guys. So hoping to see you in the next couple of days here, and hope you enjoy all the 10 movies that we brought here, or that was brought here by the MMDA. I'm sure you're going to like it, and it's a glimpse of the wonderful talents that we have in the Philippines when it comes to acting. Thank you.
Now, Tita Boots is also wearing 2 hats today. The other hat she is wearing is as chair of Mao Fund, which, as many know, is one of the most prestigious funds, film funds in the Philippines. So, Tita Butz, if you want to say a few words about Malmo.
Yes, thank you very much, Winston, my relative, my late husband's relative from Cagayan de Oro. Sabi nga nila in Latin, tempus fugit, time flies, and time has really flown very fast for the Metro Manila Film Festival, which is celebrating its 50th year this year. And together with this flight, it has grown not only roots, but also wings. And we want to thank the Manila International Film Festival for giving the MMFF its wings and for taking it to Hollywood and beyond the borders, and for giving the Filipinos, not only over here but elsewhere, the chance to see the wonderful 10 films that have won awards and hearts in the recent Metro Manila Film Festival. We hope you all enjoy the movies. Thank you.
Can we ask for the house lights to be up a little more, please? Seems a little dark. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
I forgot to mention and to thank first the MIFF team for partnering with us and trusting us that we can pull this through despite some skepticism from some personalities, and also the producers, actors, filmmakers that are here. This is your chance to show your talents to the world. Again, this is just the start, and we will coordinate with FTCP and some other government agencies to help you more. It's of course producing and showcasing your talents around the world.
Thank you. I guess we can open up to questions from our media for our esteemed panel for our first block. Any
questions?
Oliver, yes.
Anyway, my question is for Mr. Chairman of FDCP, Expositor.
Yes.
As the chairman of FDCP, as the chairman of FDCP, how will the FDCP contribute to the success of the Manila International Film Festival? And as the chairman, what are we looking forward to the success of Manila International Film Festival with FDCP? And as FDCP chairman, what is the most challenging role do you have as FDCP chairman?
Well, first and foremost, like I said, we'd like to thank Attorney Artes here for giving us the chance to partner with them and to bring this Manila International Film Fest here. And during the stay, I think in a couple of days we'll be holding a roundtable discussion because as we've been able to bring the films here and the stars and our directors and writers, we also would like to offer and give a chance for the producers here to come home to the Philippines and shoot their movies if they have projects to shoot them in the Philippines. As you well know, we're we have many spots to choose from. We have about 7,000 islands from which you can choose to shoot whatever genre or type of movie that you'd like. And of course, one of the biggest dreams, not dreams, but the biggest plans of the FDCP is to prepare the next generation of filmmakers, cameramen, writers, producers, who are going to be continuing the promotion of the Philippine film industry. And so we'd like to invite even foreigners to come over if they're interested to do co-production films or even outsource. I mean, like if they have movies that they'd like to shoot, we're inviting them to shoot in the Philippines, and the FDCP is there to help them in every way.
If you have questions, please raise your hand so we can give the mic to you. Go ahead, MJ.
Yes, MJ Ricano here from Blog Talk. Well, congratulations and welcome to Hollywood. and to everyone who can answer this. And how can we uplift the Filipino films? Everyone can answer.
I think we have the talents. We just have to give them opportunities. That's why we're bringing the Metro Manila Film Festival here in Hollywood to showcase precisely these talents. And I think that's the help that we can extend as a government institution to help uplift the Philippine movie industry, to be able to bring them outside of the Philippines and showcase the beautiful movies being produced by Filipinos in the Philippines.
Josh?
Yes, hi, Josh Andowit. My question would be for the esteemed attorney, the head of MMDA. Firstly, congratulations, because as it was said earlier, this is the best of the best as of now, reaching 1.2 billion pesos in profit, and this is first. And secondly, my question would be, it was said that this is also the best 10 films ever, and this is a reminiscence of the 1977, when the Lino Brocas, the Mike De Leon, but this one, I was told that this particular 10 films are the creme de la creme of films, at least for 2023. Now, my question then is, how are you going to top this for next year?
Well, I think credit should go to the producers, the actors, screenwriters. They submitted beautiful films. It's a happy problem for us choosing the right combination, but I think it's the movie itself, or themselves, the 10 movies. So credit should go to the producers, again, to the actors and actresses, and the filmmaking industry as a whole. So if you're asking me how to top that, I think challenge should go to the producers again, the talents, the screenwriters to submit better movies, better than this one, to be able to top the 49th edition.
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah, just a follow-up, because it was very controversial, especially when you guys are selecting the 10 films, because I know the first batch was 4 of them, and then the second batch was 6 films, so total of 10, which ordinarily, yearly, it's only 8. But this year, or at least for 2023, it was made into 10 films. Now, my question is, there was some, of course, there's some not complaints, but more of a concern that can you take us through the process on how you selected these 10 films? The reason why I'm asking is because I know for a fact that there's 2 films that they wanted to be part of the film fest, and that's Pieta of Nora Honor and In Your Eyes of Maricel Soriano. However, and of course you could validate that, they said that they didn't get a, not because they're bad movies, but simply because I think, and you could validate that per festival you're only allowed to have 2 genres. For example, 2 dramas, 2 horror, and 2 that. Can you please validate that? Because at least we could squash the rumors that the committee, selection committee was making favorites.
No, I think that's not fair to say. First, we have a selection committee composed of players from the industry itself who are independent, and there's actually very little influence in so far as the agency is concerned, because we only have 1 member of the selection committee coming from our office. So the rest are from the industry. And second, yes, it's true that we select first 4 based on script. And the next 4, supposedly 4, but we made it 6, is based on finished film submission. And yes, there is 2 movie per genre. So we can only accommodate 2, like horror, love story, drama. So yes, it's also true that it's not that the 2 movies that you mentioned didn't make it because it's not a good movie. Maybe because the other 2 who qualified was graded higher by the selection committee. So I don't think there's favoritism in that because it's a body, it's around 10. The members of the selection committee are 10. Independently, they will vote. There's scoring system that has to be followed. So I think it's unfair to say that there's favoritism in the selection process.
Thank you, Chairman. Susugan ko lang po yung sinabi ni Chairman as a member of the selection committee. I've chaired the selection committee over the last 2 years, 3 years, except that for this particular selection, I had to go on leave to avoid conflict of interest for delicadeza, because one of the films that we had finished was submitted as an applicant. And the other film submitted had me in the board of its production, the GESCOM, the producers of Gombursa. I've sat in the board of that for maybe 12 years, 13 years. And so to avoid conflict of interest, I had to go on leave. But I'm very aware of the guidelines and the rules that govern the selection committee. And very prominently, the criteria for the committee are as follows: 40% for content and technical expertise and the craft itself, another 40% for popularity for the box office potentials. We have to remember that we need to raise funds for the industry for it to continue and for it to be sustained, and this is through the MMFF. In essence, the profitability lies in the fact that the film has to be commercial, but we know that commercial films that appeal to moviegoers can be films of quality, and they can excel technically. And this is indicated very well in the last MMFF. Now, by way of criteria, the other 10% is attributed to the popular Filipino appeal, the appeal to the Filipino soul. And the last 10%, the global appeal. As a matter of foresight, all of these films hope to reach foreign shores, and though the global appeal has to be considered. So yun po yung bumubuod ng 100%. And Attorney Dantes is correct. The members of the selection committee come from different fields. They are very independent. In my experience, nobody has come to us to appeal or to make bulong, nahiya siguro sila. And because of the fact that the producers are all people of integrity and they have convictions about their project. So rest assured that the guidelines were followed, and there was no deliberation except in the end. Wala hong comparison ng views and opinions ng committee members. We just made our scores, and there was a tabulation committee. We didn't know what our scores were until the end. We didn't know who the winners would be according to ranking 1 to 8, and in this particular case 1 to 10, until the accountants and tabulating group informed us that this was during the last day. So wala po yung huntahan, walang kampihan. I would like to give credit to the members of the selection committee and the MMFF in general for the fairness and the integrity with which the films were selected. And clear proof will be when you see the films shown here. Thank you.
Last question.
Yeah.
We're going to have more questions after.
Yes. My name is Faye Coons. I'm with Weekend Balita. I have two brief questions. First of all, the MIFF is very different from the Metro Manila. Could you give us how the categories and how the awards of MIFF will be given on the gala night? And then, secondly,
Can I
I
answer that first? One question first.
Okay, go ahead.
We respect very much the decisions of the winners of the Metro Manila Film Festival, but we felt that we should also have a set of independent jurors because it will reflect more or less the film perspective. So we'd like to announce that, thank you for the question, we'd like to announce that we have our set of jurors that we can announce. The first is Maria Mora. She's the head of jury. And the second one is Maria Ysabel, who's right here. And the third one is Leia Nova, a very well-known, accomplished cinematographer. And of course, we know that Marie is a filmmaker who has done a lot of TV shows and films for American television and cinema. And then the other one is Reggie, our favorite actor. Reggie is one of the jurors. And then the other one is David McKibben, a filmmaker and also a professor at the USC Cinematic School. So we have that. And then last but not least, we have Sumani Montano, a Filipino-American actress who recently started her own sci-fi movie for television. And those are the 6 jurors we have. And so abangan po ninyo ang magiging decision nila on Friday at the gala. So.
Executive producer. From Broken Heart Strip, we have Benji Cabrera, producer. Christian Bables, actor. Andoy Ranay. And we'd like to combine also Firefly, Ysabel Ortega, and Janella.
So we're going to open the Q&A. We ask please that if you can please limit your question to accommodate a lot more media members. Thank you.
Yeah, because you will have your opportunity to ask more questions on the red carpet. So, you can introduce yourself.
First of all, magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. My name is Ysabel Ortega and I am representing Team Firefly. Unfortunately, our screenwriter, Miss Anja Tienza, who was supposed to be here today, will not be able to make it, but she will be present in other events and of course the screening. So it's an honor to be here. Of course, thank you MMTA for having all of us, and of course the MIFF. It's an honor. Thank you very much.
Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. I am Christian Bables from Broken Heart Strip. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Benji Cabrera. Taga rito ako sa LA. Kilala niyo ako, di ba? So I'm the producer of Broken Heart Strip. Sana panoorin niyo. Thank you.
Love you, Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon, everybody. We're so excited. My name is Eugene Domingo. I am from the most fabulous film, Petty and Badette. And this is Badette.
Yes, I am representing Miss Pokwang as Badette. I'm Percy Intalan, I'm the producer of it. Thank you.
So we'll open the floor to questions. We ask that, raise your hand, please. Okay, Josh, go ahead.
My question is for the producers and maybe for the filmmakers as well, because one of the Hi, my name is Josh Endowit, and my question is really for the filmmakers or the producers. Actually, it will be for everybody, because one of the controversy also from Manila was that, and this is for Broken Heart Strip, because a lot of you guys were not able to be seen by a lot of people because you were not given the number of theaters compared to the other films. So my question is, and of course it affects sales, and like Benji, you're from here, and I know this is a production, I think this is your inaugural production, and to see this, how it came about, that I know for a fact that Broken Hearts Trip didn't really get that much exposure as far as theater is concerned compared to the other 9 films.
Thank you for that question. Hindi ko kasi alam yung tungkol dun sa mga ganon, ano? So, basta kami, binigyan kami na number of theaters na isushow itong aming movie. So, sumunod lang kami. So, wala kaming another question. Hindi kami nagtanong. Basta, kung ano lang yung ibinigay sa amin, yun na lang ang ipinagdasal namin. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Christy and Roy is here with me. We represent the UNTV Los Angeles News Center. And my question, anybody can answer my question. Now that the MIFF is already here in Hollywood, how does it feel on your end? Is it the start of the beginning, achievement, or a dream come true? Anyone can answer it.
So yun, a start of the beginning and the end of the finish. And the middle of the mid. Okay. For me, personally, I'm always excited to attend any festival. And to think this is a festival by the Filipinos, for the Filipinos, and the whole American market is more exciting. Imagine, umabot tayo sa puntong ganito. I am very, I remember my directors who are not with us today. Talagang hindi namin mai-imagine that this will really happen. And to be a part of this first is really something historical and something to be proud of. So that's why, sa palagay ko, ngayon na nandito na tayo at nagsisimula na lahat ng ating pinangarap at ang ating adhikain, ay mag-focus na lang tayo sa ma-promote natin ang ganda ng mga pelikula ng dito. Hindi ba? The selection committee has selected the best movies, and we are offering it, we are showing it today, starting tomorrow, I think, or today? Today. Narinig na ba yung accent ko? Today. Today. So this is the chance, and we assure you, these are the best films, and you will enjoy the experience. Of course, Becky and Badet is showing today.
Yeah, my earlier question was, given these 10 films are sort of like the gateway to more better films, what would you say these 10 films, if you had to read them as a picture, what would it say about the values of the Filipino soul and the Filipino creativity? I mean, I'm from the genre of Lino Broca, and we really adored his films.
I think I speak for all the other producers. I think it signals that we are now in an era where you cannot box in what is being Filipino. We are very diverse culture. Our society is very diverse. We have stories that come from different parts of our community. And it's good because I think if there's one thing that maybe has been stereotypical of what the international community sees in our films is that it's always what people perceive to be being a third world country, you know. about poverty, about how dreary it is to be in a poor country. But that's not who we are. And I think it's high time that people realize that there's a reason why people love being in the Philippines. It's because of all of these stories.
Right. Okay. Question for Eugene Domingo and Christian Bables or Bables. Well, Eugene, welcome to Hollywood.
Thank you.
Yes. And I know I've seen all your films. How did you prepare for your character with this particular film, Becky and Badette? And the same thing as Christian. I know you've played so many great characters. And how did you internalize this character with this one, the Broken Hearts Trip? Thank you.
Thank you. It's very quick answer. At this point, I'm almost like 3 decades in the business. I'm very thankful, and I'm not stopping. At this point, I'm really not so trustful of my own intuition. I'm always just following my director. I'm not as hardworking as before, actually, to be honest. It's just the script. It's beautiful. I laugh. It's a comedy. That's the point. I said yes, and most of all, it's because the film is by June Robles Lana, so there's no more question about it.
Christian Bables po. Kagaya lang din po ng pag-prepare ko aking mga nakaraang roles, ganun, inaral, yung script, and I embodied the character. Ayun, hanggat sa kaya ko siyang i-take. Yun po.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? And then we can go to the next set. Ysabel. Okay.
Ysabel.
Hello po. I guess part of the preparation, of course, was with the guidance of our director, Direk Zig Dulay, and of course our screenwriter, Miss Anja Tienza. This is actually Firefly is actually my very first movie, and I'm so honored that this is also the first time, and it's also part of the MMFF as one of the entries. So I think it was more on just trusting the guidance of the directors and the screenwriters to bring life to my character, which is Erica. And yeah, I guess that's it for me. Thank you.
I would like thank you very much to everybody. We'll see Becky and Badette and also Broken Hearts Trip.
All five of you first, and then 3, and then Firefly. All together, please. We'll talk first.
Everyone, ice right here. Ice here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Becky and Badette, Broken Hearts Trip, and Firefly. Thank you.
And now it's time for the next set. I will call the Composer team, led by Pepe Joko, director, Enchong, the lead actor, and Piolo Pascual, supporting actor for this film. And we would also like to call the compound team, Joji Alonso, producer, and Beauty Gonzalez, lead actress.
Oh, there you are. Oh, this?
Please raise your hand if you have a question for either Gomborza or Composer.
Yes.
Josh and then Lydia.
Oh, in a swerve.
And we might as well call John Sheila, please join us. Yeah. John Sheila, guys, for Penduko. Our first and only Filipino actor to be the voting best actor in Venice. So we're very proud of Mr. John Rashida for on the job, the missing eight. So we're gonna start with Josh. Let me remind you again the one question, please. Over there.
My question is for Piolo Pascual. Okay. Okay, because I'm gonna reserve this other question when you get the Milari. Hello, PJ. My question is, how does it feel to be, in your capacity being a super leading actor, and then you're doing a supporting role for Gumbursa, and that's one, and then tie up with that, Gumbursa was not doing so well at first until it won second best picture, and it practically swept all the awards. And that's my question. And I'll reserve the other question for you later.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. The story behind it, plain and simple, my director here, Pepe Diokno, wouldn't take no for an answer. When we were Zoom lang, di ba? They presented on Zoom, and I was working on another film. This was before Malayari pa. And then I said, I don't know if we're going to be able to squeeze it in my schedule because it's already full. But he said, PJ, I can't see anybody else doing this character. Yeah, in his own words. So I said, yeah, siguro we'll make it happen. And that was the best answer because we tried to find a way to squeeze it in my calendar. It was a great experience. But upon arriving on the set and Direct Pepe giving me that Spanish line, the Spanish lines, I almost passed out after a good take. It was really hard. It was really hard. That's why I told him you owe me one. Because I thought I was only there for a couple of scenes, couple of minutes. I didn't know the lines were long and it was in Spanish. But it was a beautiful experience going into the set. I didn't have a scene with him actually. I was on the I was on location. We were excited. We never had scenes together. Only with Cedric and Itodante. It was a beautiful experience.
Lydia, that's Steve. Thank you. Lydia, please. Thank you.
Hi, this question is for Beauty Gonzalez. Hi, I'm so excited to see you in person. I've seen you in your movies and on television. My question, how do you feel? How did this new child actress, Erin, inspire you in your role in this movie?
Hello, thank you for the question. I love working with kids. Since since nag-stop ako sa showbiz dahil nabuntis ako, yung comeback role ko was with kids. And even before that, before I got pregnant, I'm working with kids. I'm very comfortable with kids. Actually, it's not it's not like me teaching them. It's the kid teaching me. Sila yung nagtuturo sa akin pagdating sa set na you should be calm, you should be more open, you should more be explore. So parang baliktad yung nangyayari. Si Irene yung nagtuturo sa akin sa set, which I really enjoy. And she's amazing. She's very talented. I mean, the whole film, we finished it on time, and hindi pa nga siya umaarte, natatakot na ako sa kanya. And yeah, she was a very good choice. Lucky. Thank you, thank you.
Just raise your hand. Who's going to be next? Over here, please.
Steve.
Oh,
I have the mic. Hello, everyone. Hello. This question is probably for Papa P, who I just talked to on Zoom like last week. And Enchong, I know Steve Andrews from ABS-CBN, by the way. I know over the years you guys have been here so many times, have had ABS Star Cinema movies, have done the TFC shows, but how different is it? How much more special is it that you're bringing these films here for the first Manila International Film Festival?
It's a privilege. Just what I was telling everyone a while ago, it's a privilege and it's such a fortunate position to be at.
I am very thankful, grateful that I'm part of this first Manila International Film Festival. It's different when it's the Filipinos who gets to watch the films. There's a certain level of pride, there's a certain level of appreciation when your fellow Filipinos get to appreciate your art or your creativity. So now that we're all here, and I assume that everyone's excited to get to watch the film, our hearts are full, and I'm speaking in behalf of the entire team that flew here. So thank you very much.
Hello po, Nikki of Ramble Alive. Papa P, nice to see you again. I spoke with you last week at CMSD. But my question is for the Gumburza team. What was the biggest challenge you guys faced during the production of the film, and how did you overcome that?
Thanks for the question. We were actually supposed to start shooting before the pandemic. So we did our first pre-production meeting March 2020, and then a few days later the lockdown happened. So we were actually spending the entire pandemic working on the script, doing research, and when the restrictions had eased and JessCom had made the decision to continue the film, it became like a lifeline for many of us. So we were just so happy to be back at work. We shot the film in just 17 days actually, but we were, we did a lot to prepare for it over the last few years, and so I'm grateful for the time that we had to make the film. I root for Papa P to Spanish, and for Enchong too, actually.
My question is for Mr. John Arcilia. A few years ago, you had a plan of moving to Hollywood. And then you decided to just stay in the Philippines because that time you have a lot of projects that are coming up after that decision, so you stayed. If there's an opportunity for you to being represented in Hollywood, would you still take that?
Yes, yes, I would love to. You know what? In 2012, there's this talent agency in San Diego who is very interested to get me as one of their talents, and they showed me this. They researched about my look that I can actually accommodate this numbers of audience or public in the United States just by my look. They have this comprehensive research on that I could pass as Cambodian American, Filipino American, and so on and so forth, like Mexicans, American, or whatever. So that comprehensive. But the thing is, they want me to erase. They want me to have this workshop that is called Erase. They want to erase my accent. They want me to go into workshops where I can practice the West Coast accent, the East Coast accent. It's good. I understand that we need it as actors here in America, as Filipino actors. But naisip ko, there are the blacks, the Black Americans have their own accents. The Hispanic Americans, they have their own accents. The Chinese Americans, I want to keep mine. I want to sell myself here as a Filipino in America, but not a Filipino American. I know it's hard because we're still an ethnic group here, or ethnic people here in America, right? So we cannot really get a lead role ever. So I think I'm going to erase my accent. I'm going to compete with millions of Filipino actors who doesn't have the accent. And choosing a character here, especially in the mainstream, they will go for the look and the non-accent rather than just the non-accent. So I have a slim possibility if I will erase my accent. Hindi rin naman ako pwedeng maging lead eh. So doon na lang ako doon sa I will keep my soul. And yet, hindi naman naging problema talaga yan sa decision ko. Nandun pa rin ako sa decision ko na yun na sell me as a Filipino, maybe in Russia, Filipino in China, in Germany. Because we're all over the world. So parang ganun ko gustong isell yung sarili ko. And kung magkakaroon naman ng opportunity, why not? Nagkataon lang talagang marami ngayon na projects sa Philippines. And hindi ko alam kung gaano naka-ready ang American mainstream sa ganong klaseng disposition for an actor. From the Philippines, I mean. Unless we can have, well, Dolly, that film is not American, right? Dolly the Leon's film. Is that an American film? That's not an American film. No, I mean the film, the project is not American. Is that American production? Okay, so I think meron na rin tayong opening kasi Filipinos all over the festivals globally are actually known. I mean, ang dami-dami natin nakukuha honor globally as talents, as directors. In fact, siguro ang problema lang nga natin na medyo slow tayo sa technology kasi medyo konti ang ating budget. So hopefully, sana mas maraming mga moneyed philanthropists na mga Amerikano or mga Pilipino na gustong tumulong sa mga Filipino producers and directors. And sana our government can subsidize $1 billion for all our filmmakers in the Philippines. Para we can be at par with the, what do we call it? The Hollywood standard of filmmaking. Kasi doon pa rin, yun pa rin naman talagang medyo behind tayo. But when it comes to talent, I think we're already there. We are good filmmakers, storytellers. We have a rich history, and we have a very colorful culture. So marami pa tayong pwedeng gawin at marami pa tayong pwedeng i-share sa mundo. In the very first place, we do films not just for ourselves because we want to communicate to the whole world that we are just the same. Pareho lang tayo nila. Gusto natin ng isang magandang buhay at maayos na dating.
Thank you, John. I got to ask Joji Alonso, the producer of Compon, because the story of Compon, ladies and gentlemen, was inspired by, from what I read from the director, it was inspired by the society's pressure on couples who have kids. And that's one thing Janella and I experienced. The question for many, many years, kailan kayo magkakaanak ni Janet? Kailan kayo magkaka-baby? So relate kami ni Janet with the synopsis or with the plot inspiration of Compon. So if you could please answer that.
Well, my director, King, married quite late to his wife, Kay, and for a while they were working on having a kid but could never quite get there. So when I got to meet King way back in 2018, because the whole concept was created actually way before the pandemic, and during that discussion, I said I want to work with a kid as the evil one for a change, not the nicey, cuddly little kid. So he decided to develop a story around from his own experience not having a child. Because for him, horror comes in different forms, not just the occult, the supernatural, but from society itself. When you are always being pressured to having a family, because if there are no kids, it's not a complete family. So that's where it all began.
Thank you very much, everyone. Penduko and Gombursa. Thank you very much. Now we're gonna have the next back. Pose first.
Please watch Penduko.
Yo, patigilin mo na.
Guys, ice right here. Come on.
Everyone straight ahead up top.
One more time right here.
Right here.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now we'd like to call on the Malyari group. Piolo Pascual, Janella, Salvador, John Brian Diamante, producer, Ron Angeles, and Derek Cabrito.
They're not American.
So raise your hand, please, if you want to ask a question. We're gonna give Amy and then Josh. So we start with Amy. Go ahead. Over there. Okay. Can I just say that we've known Derek since he was probably, I don't know how young, but we've been attending the Manila International Film Festival, so it's a point of pride for us that we now see Derek with his film, and it's been bought by Warner Brothers, so congratulations to this film. Woo! So we start with Amy.
Hi, thank you. I have a question for Piolo. I'm Amy from TikTok. Amy, you are actually doing two historical figures on the road. So what do you do and what preparation do you do for your role?
The first one, I already explained with Gumburza. I would read it again, I would read it from start to finish, and I would have conversations with my acting coach for every scene that we would tackle, for every role. So basically, I just relied on them, and I just kept on reading and trying to understand what the movie was all about based on the 3 timelines that I had to do. It was a good experience, it was a good exercise, and it was really humbling because you cannot really get ahead of yourself, and these are figures that I still, am haunted. And I'm just really happy that I get to do these roles, at this point of my life and my career, and yeah, it's quite exciting. Thank you.
Who's going to speak next? There and then Josh. Okay. Go ahead.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I'm Edith Andres from Balita Media. My question is, based on your experience, or probably what's your take with the Filipino audience in the Philippines and Filipinos here in the U.S.? So how do you think that are, especially, like having the billion of the results of what we had the recent MMFF. So there's the question about the Filipinos in the Philippines. What about here in the U.S.? Well, anyone.
Hi, by the way, I'm Brian. I'm the producer of Malyari from Metro Productions. Basically, hopefully, we want to get in touch with our roots because as of the moment, Metro Productions, it's our first mainstream film in the Philippines, Malyari. And personally, I wanted to produce films that will not just entertain, but really infuse Filipino culture to every film that we're going to do moving forward. So I hope that's something that the Filipinos abroad would also want to experience.
Josh?
Okay. My question is for the Penduko group. Most of us, if not all of us.
This is Malyari.
See, John will answer.
Sorry.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh, sige,
what is it?
My question for the kay John.
Yes.
Could we all? I'm right here, John. Careful.
Careful.
You okay? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, John, the Penduko, most of us, if not all of us, grew up with Pedro Penduko, originally by Ramon Zamora.
Yes.
And then it was remade by Jano Gibbs. And now this is Gudicelli, Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo.
So what are we, they said this is the Pedro Penduko of the new millennium.
Yes.
Can you, because like in the past two Penduko, it talks about mermaids, Encanto and all that. What are we supposed to expect with this Penduko of the new millennium?
Okay, at one glance, it looked like a folklore film. But it's actually more than that. Of course, the kids can enjoy it with their parents. But it speaks about finding yourself, trying to find your niche. When these millennials and teenagers are, they thought that they're already adults and they can quarrel with their parents because they want to find themselves. Of course, there are some elements of magic, of fantastic effects, but these are all hyperbole. These are just symbols. In fact, the film talks about the it talks about the value of life. It talks about our culture, our mythological creatures, but these are all just symbols about life. It speaks about being vindictive will change you as a human being. It will transform you like it will transform you into something like monstrous being, something like that. So these are just symbols, but it talks about our culture as Filipinos. It talks about life. It's up to whoever is watching the film. If the kids, yes, surely they will enjoy the fantastic effects. But for all the Filipinos can actually relate to the film. They can look at it in a different angle. Did I answer it?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll get to ask Derek because folks, the story of Onyara is very unusual because it's about the first and only recorded Filipino serial killer, and he happens to be a priest. So I would like to ask Derek your reaction when you first found out about the story and how you developed, and what was your initial gut reaction when you heard about a priest who's a serial killer?
Well, I've heard the story way back 2017, and then me and my writer Enrico was talking about it, and we were trying to look for a way to make it for a film, but we're having a hard time back then because there's a lot of missing details on the research materials of Malayari. Of course, I was so fascinated in the story because I haven't heard a priest which is also a serial killer, and it's not even a part of the culture of Filipinos where we have cases of serial killings. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's not part of our culture or the way we, And so I was fascinated by the story, and then we started doing some research, and we're having some problems back then until we decided to do a 3 timeline way back 2019, 2020. So to do the story and to mix the fiction and the non-fiction part of the story. So that's how it came up, and we pitched it to Piolo. And also with Brian, we pitched it to Brian, and Brian said yes about the material. So from there, everything starts moving forward.
So my question for Janella and Ryan and Piolo, how was it working with Mr. Derek Cabrillo and being part of the movie?
Let's pretend that.
Ako ba muna? It was amazing. Then naka-work ko na si Derek before. We worked with each other in another horror film, but I was only there for 1 day. And I'm really glad that I got to work with him again this time, longer.
It was the first film was U-Turn, and yeah, it's always a great experience working with Derek. He knows what he wants.
One thing I can say about Derek is he already knew what he wanted. He had a vision. So whatever was happening on the set, he knew his technicals. He knew what he wanted for a scene. So he would discuss it with her cinematographer and then with us. So whenever he wouldn't get what he wants, he would like talk to you and put you aside. But one thing I was really impressed about is that he knows his genre. He knows his story, and he knows what he really wants for a film. So that alone made the film kind of complete because he had a vision that we just had to follow.
There were a lot of arguments, of course, but definitely the best thing working with Derek is we're able to compromise on things. And we are able to listen to each other. Ang dami namin ding learning curve dito sa MMFF dahil actually first time being sing ko the first time MMFF ni Derek. So may maraming mga bagay na kailangan namin talagang pagtalunan. But the good thing with Derek is we listen to each other. So that's why we're able to make Malayari.
So working with Derek at the very first time, parang kinakabahan ako that time kasi hindi ko siya kilala and first time ko siya ma-meet sa Malayari. And he's like my father. Before kami pumunta sa set, pinapaalala niya sa akin yung mga you need to be like this. Kailangan ganito yung action mo, yung mga ganyan. So, pag nakilala mo si Derek, parang ang saya na mag-work. I mean, the pressure nawawala. And yung mga, pag nakikita niyang na-stress ka sa ginagawa mo, is trying to help you para ma-showcase mo lalo yung talent mo.
Thank you very much, everyone. And I will ask you to pose for the photographers. Thank you.
And don't forget that we have a chance to one-on-ones outside.
Okay, can we ask you a little bit to your right? I'll be here. Thank you.
Squeeze.
And eyes right here.